Hello everybody and welcome back to LMM. And if you're enjoying what you're seeing on the channel at the moment, how about giving this video a like and maybe subscribing to the channel to help us grow and perhaps even check out our Patreon. This video is the last in the series of the Love Your Railway campaign, and this week the subject is restoration. And for most of you, I know you're thinking, well, that's a fairly easy subject, and a lot of you will be wondering why we're not standing next to a certain Ruston 48, because obviously that is a prime candidate to talk about the restoration journey. And most of you, when we say a restoration, you'll be conjuring up images of Barry and the lines of locomotives there, which several of them, especially from those later photos, have survived into preservation. And we can talk about the restoration challenge, the skills needed, and the amount of uncountable hours that the pioneers of preservation put into restoring those wrecks. And I want to kind of just clarify the difference here between restoration of a locomotive, taking something that is in very, very poor condition that has been scrapped, and an overhaul. So an overhaul is something you take a generally working locomotive, or one that has been working recently, and it's 10-year boiler certificate and a general maintenance, a heavy bottom end overhaul. That is an overhaul. It's a working machine that is being kept working. A restoration is taking something that is broken, something that is missing parts, something that is dilapidated, forgotten or scrapped, like a Ruston 48 or like those wrecks at Barry. Restoration is an amazing thing, and so much of what we see in preservation shouldn't be here. So much of it should have been lost to the annals of time. So many of the locomotives that we see running on our heritage railways simply should not be here. All common sense says that they should have been left to be scrapped. There should have been no reason for a group to go to those scrapyards to save those locomotives and to overhaul them. They'll never make back the money that they have cost to restore them. And yet, people did it. And it's one of the most marvellous things, I think, going. And we owe those early pioneers of preservation a huge debt of gratitude for all those uncountable, never to be returned hours to save part of our heritage. I think it's amazing. It's absolutely so. For me personally, to all of those pioneers, thank you. You did something incredible. But what I want to talk about today isn't just the traditional idea of restoration, of restoring a locomotive. I'm here at the Corris Railway to talk about something that's a bit more grand. You see, some heritage railways are very much just a steam train ride. Some of them are laid on former routes, some of them laid to different gauges, but they are just offering you a steam train that's pulling coaches, but not necessarily trying to give you a snapshot of how that was back in time. For instance, the Mid-Suffolk, we only have stuff on site that was there from before the original railway closed, that made sense that it would have been there, and everything we have there helps tell the tale of the original Mid-Suffolk. Now, there is, to my knowledge, one surviving Mid-Suffolk coach and no locomotive, so we have to cut some corners for having locomotives hired in which are either local or have some kind of tie or are kind of authentic in some way, or they're just a steam locomotive. My Ruston 48 is the only authentic diesel traction for the Mid-Suffolk because one of those took it up in 1952. So my one is appropriate. Everything else, take a bit of give and take. But somewhere like Corris goes a bit further. Corris isn't just about a steam train ride. The railway here is about restoring the whole railway, the whole atmosphere, the whole flavour, the whole shebang. It's not just content with putting the railway back here from Maespoeth up to Corris. It's not just content with constructing rolling stock that's like the originals. No, it's that next step further, constructing locomotives that are the same type as those that once worked here, because the original 3 and 4 are somewhat disposed at another railway. So in order to properly restore the Corris, you need to represent the only locomotives that ever worked there by building new members of the classes. They are building a brand new version of number 3, which will be the railway's number 10, which I have driven. If you click over there, you see that video, and number 7, which I've also driven. If you click over there, you can see that video. It's much more about just running a service. This is a restoration and a continuation of Corris. This is something so special. And to come here, to sample it as it was, the atmosphere here is unlike almost any other place. Mid-Suffolk, for instance, gives you the typical English country railway. And it feels that because it just oozes that atmosphere. And Corris is just the most flavourful, the most typical of the narrow gauges. This takes you back. The whole atmosphere is chorus. When we operate steam, they're not engines from elsewhere. They're the engines that are meant to be on this line. Every time we light up a locomotive in that shed, we're doing exactly what happened over 100 years ago when they lit up the same type of locomotives in that shed. It's restoration of an entire idea. It's the restoration of an ideal. And here at Chorus, we've somewhat achieved that. The railway is back. The railway exists, it lives and it breathes again. It's more than just an idea. This is the restoration of a memory, something once lost made tangible again. It's the restoration of the way we once lived. It's truly exciting. And we here are established. We are an operating railway. And it's exciting that as I'm filming this, the Glyn Valley Tramway are starting their own journey in the same way of restoring their railway. And that's a hugely exciting thing for them to be starting that journey in 2023 for a new idea to be coming down and them to be making progress. Genuinely very exciting. And I'm excited to see how it goes as they restore their railway. Restoration is so much more than just restoring a locomotive. It's everything. It's from signal boxes to the wagons to the coaches we ride on. Restoration is incredible. And even here, where our coaches are new, where our steam locomotives are new, it's still restoration because it's restoration of this idea. It's restoration of this route, and it's the restoration of a period. This is going back in time because it's exactly how it would have been. And that's really something special. Restoration is an amazing thing. I'm looking forward to inviting you guys to come and get involved in working on Ruston 393-303 so you too can be part of the restoration journey. Because as we move into the future and looking ahead, we're going to need the next generation, and a lot of that's you guys, to start getting actively involved in this hobby. The more places I go to and the more people I talk to, everywhere is crying out for volunteers. We need people like you to start coming to these places and getting involved, to start learning the skills to be able to keep it going. Even when people like me are gone, we need that next generation to start coming through already so that this whole thing can continue. And that's basically it. That's my thoughts on restoration. A lot of it is blindingly obvious, but sometimes it's more than just the one thing. And this place, I think, is incredible. And that concludes this series of Love Your Railway. Let me know in the comments below if you've enjoyed it and what you thought about it, what your favourite episode is, and of course, like and subscribe, and we'll see you again next time. If you have enjoyed this one, how about clicking somewhere over there for another one of the Love Your Railway, and there for our review on number 7 here at the Chorus Railway. Thanks for watching, guys. Oh, and if you want more information on the Chorus Railway, links to their websites in the video description. Ta-da!